Okay, in this video, I'm going to show you the number one reason why you lose the women that you really wanted to date and you cannot retain her interest level. Okay, I'm going to show you why this is like one of the most important videos I've ever made. And I hope that by the end of it, you see just how serious I am about this topic, because I guarantee you, you will not find another content creator on the internet right now with the ability to break things down at this level. So listen to me closely, okay? When women date a guy, majority of them will claim like they feel that something's missing. Okay, so they feel like something's missing. You will always hear women say this. They'll be like, oh, he is really tall and good looking and he makes a lot of money and he even pays for every date and he picks the spot we're going, but there's just something missing. I don't know what's missing. There's something missing. You will always hear so many women say this, okay? So this is what that means. They sense weakness but don't know what it is and why, okay? They're lacking connection, but don't know what type of connection they want or they need or they're even craving. And on top of that, they crave deeper level masculine leadership, but don't know what that would even look like because so few men are willing to demonstrate it, even though all of you watching this video right now have the ability to demonstrate it because you're a man, but you don't even know how to tap into this. I will show you in just a little bit. This took me years to realize. I would say that this took me close to 3 years to realize all this, to make this video that I'm making for you right here today. This took hundreds of hours of thought, or probably thousands of hours of thought, and this took years of self-development, so listen to me very closely. The thing that I noticed, okay, or I noticed this after spending years thinking about all these things and seeing this, is that I noticed one thing, okay? These women that I would date, this is the one thing that I noticed, these women that I would date, they craved beliefs and they craved deeper level meaning. So I noticed so many of the women I would date, they would all, for some reason, have an interest in astrology. Or a lot of them would have all these affirmations or sayings, okay, or pictures around their house with different affirmations or words on it. Or even like some of them would have things like crystals, you know, in their living room or in their bedroom. And they would say like, oh, you know, these are my good energy crystals, or these are for healing. This is healing energy. I would notice these things. They would say these things, or they would constantly gravitate towards astrology and they would cling to that belief and say, well, this is why this is like this, or this is why this is like that. And I realized something very, very, very important. And then it all clicked for me. The difference between men and women is that men actually have the ability to spot deception. Okay. Men actually have the ability to spot deception, but modern men choose to ignore it. This is what's missing for women, and this is why women leave majority of the men that they date. I will explain to you. Where majority of women are easily led by their emotions and what they claim feels good, what I'm telling you is this: women cannot see what you see. So men have the ability, the very unique ability, to spot deception and to lead. Where majority of women, you're going to find that they are easily led by their emotions and by what they claim feels good. So I'm telling you this: women cannot see what you see. You have almost like an internal superpower, okay? So fast forward, okay? After coming to this discovery, after coming to this conclusion, after making this discovery, then I realized that men have innate value beyond just looks, money, and status that the world keeps you blind to. Oh yeah, I'm going to say that. I'm going right there, because listen to me closely. I realize that men have natural innate value beyond just looks, money, and status that the world keeps you blind to. You do not even see the value that you have as a man. I encourage you to look deeper. I encourage you to see this through a new lens. I encourage you to realize that there is so much more that you could be. There is things that men have naturally beyond the materialistic world of external attraction. There's things that a man has, such as spiritual protection, okay? Leadership capability, the ability to say no, the ability to protect when there is the wrong situation and circumstance, but majority of modern men choose to ignore this. I will give you an example later on in this video. So women need to see that you have the strength and the ability to exercise forms of masculine guidance and protection. I will say that one more time. Women need to see that you have the ability and the strength to exercise forms of masculine guidance and protection. What I have came to terms with, or the one conclusion that I have started to discover, is that she wants to be led towards God. And the reason is because her own natural tendencies, okay, she will naturally start to just follow the serpent, just like Eve did in the story. If you want to compare this to the creation story, her natural tendency will go towards what is bad. The downfall of the man is what I'm explaining to you right here. Modern men choose to ignore that they have the ability to spot deception. So this is the thing, or these are the things that men actually have that they don't even see. Things like spiritual protection, leadership, the ability to say no. Okay? So let me explain this at an even deeper level. Without faith and the element of God, this is what I've came to realize. And this is going to be the biggest reason that I found why actually majority of men probably struggle talking and communicating to women. You know, the funniest thing about this is every content creator will tell you things like women like to follow emotions. Women will choose their emotions. Women like to talk about things, that are maybe spiritual, or women follow those emotional tendencies through words. All the content creators like to talk about this, but none of them will actually talk about the word. None of them will actually talk about elements of God and faith that a man can provide to a woman. But these same men refuse to accept or refuse to see that these are the exact conversations that she wants to be having with you. Without faith and the element of God, here's what I came to realize. I have nothing to teach or to talk about with a woman. Literally nothing. I'm going to get really bored and sick of talking about where the next restaurant is, or the next vacation to plan, or the next walk in the park to go on. Okay? Listen to me very closely. I have literally nothing to talk about with them if this is not the angle and the direction that I'm taking it towards. And this makes sense because this is when she lights up the most and starts to love you. And this is when you actually develop a deeper level connection with the woman that you did not have before. Let me explain. When I guide and lead properly, this is what I've noticed. I can sit there and I can literally talk to them for 5 hours straight without any form of media, without any TV going on, without any music going on, literally just me and her sitting there. Silent background, nothing, just my words. And what I have found is the woman will oftentimes, they will sit there staring and waiting for the next line, the next thing that you're going to say, the next belief that you have about the world that is beneficial for both of you. This is the one thing that I've noticed. Your masculine superpower is your ability to lead and spot deception. That is your masculine superpower. When she sees that you have that, that is almost like the one factor where she's like, okay, he's willing to say what's needed, and he doesn't necessarily care how he's perceived. Listen to me closely. The common fear that men have, okay? The common fear is this. The common fear that men have is they say, well, will this turn her off? Is this going to make her want to go sleep with a different type of guy quicker? In my experience and what I've found after my own testing, the answer is no. And I can tell you that that's far from the truth. Here's what I found. In my experience, when you take this angle and when you do this, when you actually signal the raw masculine competence that God blessed you with, this is what you're going to find. In my experience, okay, listen to me closely. They will sit there and listen to you, okay? And here's what will happen is they will sit there and they will want to kiss you the whole time. And then in my experience, a lot of times they want to make you dinner and they want to share real time with you in a true masculine to feminine dynamic. This is what you're going to notice. Okay. So she will also, here's what I found. Those of you who say, oh, well, if you're going to be a good guy like that, she's not going to have any attraction for you in the bedroom. Here's what I found. She will also test your willpower, and she will oftentimes try to even get you to sleep with her. To see, well, if you believe all this, are you going to just fall and crumble to your own pleasure? This is what she'll try to do. In my experience, when I've used these things that I'm teaching you, women will actually attempt to even make the first move or try to sleep with you quicker. They will be the ones to try to see if they can get you to break, if they can get you to fall to your own pleasures. Listen to me closely. This is a very important video. You will always fail with this angle. Go and lead the date. Go and have that relationship. Even maybe you can even be a provider if you want to. Pay for everything, protect, build all the muscle that you want. Tell yourself that you're the one making the decisions and you're the man and you're the masculine. But guess what? She will always claim that something is missing because you're not able to spot the things she actually needs you to spot. You will see what I mean in just a little bit. She will always claim that something is missing because you fundamentally are not leading properly. You fundamentally don't know how to lead. Listen to me closely. Number one, the only reason that you can't retain her interest is because you can't lead. This is the only reason you cannot retain her interest, is because you cannot lead. Brings me to point number two. You can't lead because you don't know how to signal any form of spiritual protection. You don't know how to signal protection in the ways that she's actually looking for in a masculine to feminine dynamic outside of looks, money, and status. Women gravitate towards spiritual things and their emotions for a reason. Pay attention. You have guidance and you have ability as a man that you're not using. You have your own internal superpower you are literally choosing not to use. Listen to me closely. Number three, you don't know how to signal spiritual protection because you have no faith. Why is that circled, the word faith? Because this is what I've discovered. The man leads, right? The man leads. You choose your path. You choose where you're going to lead. You know, this is the funniest thing too. Every single man, and myself included for a lot of years, men will say things like, men are the leaders. It's good to have that masculine dynamic where you're leading. And then men are upset where if they lead, the only time that they're actually seeing what they do or where their steps go is they notice that they're leading her directly to a romantic situation where the bedroom is involved. And then they sit there and they go, well, why is it like this? Listen to me closely. The man leads. There's two paths you can go down. There's guidance and there's protection and there is sin. This is a three-letter word that is not talked about very much. The man leads and dictates how he wants to work his own words and his own lifestyle decisions and choices. And this goes beyond women. This is everything. You will choose the path of guidance, or you will choose to go the other way and you'll fall to your own temptation and you will fall into sin. Now, the two sides, okay, and the dividing line is not Riz. This is what I used to think. I used to think things like, oh, well, you know, she wants a guy with the charisma and the charm and, you know, this and that, or a lot of different words guys use, like alpha, for example, okay? Here's what you're going to find. It's not any of that. It's truly sin. When you indulge in temptation and you leverage your emotions towards her emotions to carry the dynamic in that manner, that's where it goes. The man leads and chooses his own attitude. This is what I'm trying to tell you. Now, here's the thing. I've been on both sides of this. I've tried and I've been on both sides of this, okay? And inevitably, it does not work. It does not work to consistently follow your own pleasures, and I'm going to explain to you why. The more a man falls to lust and temptation, the more you crave that intimacy, the weaker you get. So there is one thing that I notice, even like, let's use the term the bad boy. Okay, the bad boy, a lot of times, I started to look at these words like run rate or retention, and I say to myself, well, how long did that relationship last? Or there's other guys who I met who consider themselves good players. Let's use this word for an example. And they would claim things like, oh, you know, I've been with 100 women. I've been with 200 women. And then if you ask them and you say, well, how many of those women are you still with today? A lot of them would say, well, none of them. And then if you say, well, do you have any of those women who genuinely love you and are constantly, you know, calling and texting and wanting to see you? And the answer a lot of times would be no. And then I'd say, so do you have any form of like ability to retain her interest past what happened? And the answer would be no. So listen to me very closely. All of this started to click for me. I used to think that women sleep with guys who other men would call or label alpha. And then I realized that it's completely wrong. Women sleep with men who fall to their own temptation, who become sinful. This is the biggest shift that I've had to realize, because you as a man are going to choose your own life. So yes, falling to temptation can and will probably get you laid. In fact, I spent a good 10 years doing that. Listen to me closely. I spent a good 10 years doing that. Listen, you get weaker by the day, because here's what happens when you fall into that temptation. Listen to me very closely. Does it feel good? Yes. Do you get to have a pleasureful experience with the woman? Yes. Do you even potentially get to have repetitive, pleasurable experiences spent with that woman? The answer is yes, but eventually you will always get weaker. And here's why. The more you fall into these things, the less respect she'll have for you, because you don't have any emotional fortitude and willpower over your own emotions. You don't have any control over your own emotions because you don't have any faith. Listen to me closely. You get weaker by the day, and these three things happen. Lust starts to work into your mind. Number two, your emotions now will become up and down and you're thinking about a bunch of different things. She's going to notice that your emotions are all over the place. And then number three, you will lose sight of your purpose. You'll lose sight of your calling. You'll lose sight of your direction in life. And now what you're going to find is a purposeless man is one who she doesn't want to stick by. When you start to see these things, your entire life will change. So watch her leave you and you crumble when you indulge in these things that I just described to you. So here's what you have to understand. Man must rise above his temptation, okay? And I'm going to give you an example of this. So this is the exact post that I had inside of my community, okay, where I help these guys learn, understand, and master the language of women. This is the exact post I had. I put, for me, it's clicking even more. I go, teaching her about God is the highest form of riz I've ever found. What I typed was, I said, the man leads and provides spiritual guidance and leadership. And then I put in parentheses the word cause. I go, the woman feels and receives energy, effect. And then I go, masculine to feminine, active to passive, leading to receiving, when in reality, I actually should have typed leading to following. And then I put more to come. Okay, to give her a story to unfold page by page, you need to have progression. You need her to want to discover who you are and more of you. Okay, if you notice you're in the vehicle and there's vulgar music, or maybe you're at her house and vulgar music she turns on, okay, at first it's no, turn that off, that's not good for me, okay, then the next progression, if she does it again next week, is no, turn that off, that's not good for you. And then you're dating, and then a month in, you guys are dating, you're in a relationship or something like that. She turns it on a third time, and now it's no, that is not good for us. It went from me to you to us. Do you understand how you're signaling progression? You're signaling a leadership. You're signaling the things that she wants to see out of you. And she'll constantly test. She'll constantly test to see if you're smart enough to spot these things. She will constantly test to see if you know right from wrong. And every single time that you fall into what's wrong, she probably will go with it because it's going to feel good. She'll probably desire to sleep with you. She'll probably desire to do all these things. And day by day, week by week, watch her lose more and more respect because you refuse to say the one word that you know deep down you need to say. And that one word is no.